Today, we're counting down 5 standout neighborhoods across Greater Seattle where writers can find bookstores, reading rooms, and literary history close at hand. And one neighborhood's jump to number 1 may surprise anyone who still pictures Seattle's writing scene through an older map. For this countdown, we're looking beyond scenery and coffee shop atmosphere and focusing on places with real literary anchors: bookstores, author events, writing centers, poetry spaces, and neighborhood character that supports creative work. Some of these places are quiet and residential, some are busy and central, and a few have shaped Seattle's book culture for decades. Let's start at number 5. Number 5 is Phinney Ridge, a north-central Seattle neighborhood named for the ridge that runs between Ballard and Green Lake. Its writerly anchor is Phinney Books on Greenwood Avenue North, opened by 8-time Jeopardy champion Tom Nissley. The Seattle Times has repeatedly recognized it as one of the city's strongest literary browsing experiences. And the shop is known for readings, book clubs, and those personal shelf-talker recommendations that make browsing feel like a conversation. For writers, Phinney Ridge brings a quieter, neighborhood-scale literary rhythm, less about spectacle, more about returning to the same shelves and letting ideas build over time. At number 4, we head to Fremont, the North Seattle neighborhood that began as a separate city before being annexed into Seattle in 1891. Fremont has long had a quirky indie culture identity, and for writers, one of its strongest anchors is Book Larder on Fremont Avenue North. It is Seattle's cookbook bookstore, built around a working kitchen that hosts classes, author talks, and food-centered literary events. Seattle's City of Literature neighborhood coverage has pointed to Fremont's creative pull, and Book Larder gives the area something specific: a place where writing, recipes, publishing, and live conversation all meet in the same room. With a walk score of 97, according to WalkScore in 2026, Fremont also makes it easy to move between shops, cafes, and neighborhood corners without breaking the flow of a writing day. Number 3 is Wallingford, sitting on a hill above the north shore of Lake Union, about 4 miles from downtown Seattle. Wallingford developed quickly in the early 20th century after the University of Washington was established to the east, and it still has that mix of residential calm and intellectual proximity. The major literary reason it ranks this high is Open Books, a Poem Emporium, one of only a handful of poetry-only bookstores in the United States, with more than 10,000 poetry titles. That is not just a bookstore detail. For poets, essayists, and anyone working with language at a close level, it is a serious resource. Open Books also handles book sales for major Seattle arts and lectures and Hugo House poetry readings, connecting Wallingford to the wider Seattle literary calendar. At number 2, we arrive in Pioneer Square, Seattle's oldest neighborhood and one of the most historically important places in the city's literary story. This southwest corner of downtown was once the heart of Seattle, with founders settling there in 1852, after a brief earlier settlement at Alki Point, across Elliott Bay. For writers, Pioneer Square's biggest claim is its role as the original 1973 home of Elliott Bay Book Company, long called the heart of Seattle's literary community. Rick Simonson launched the store's famed reading series here, bringing names like Murakami, Amy Tan, and Salman Rushdie, before the store moved in 2010. Even today, Pioneer Square carries that historic weight: brick buildings, old streets, galleries, and a sense that many Seattle stories have passed through these blocks. And at number 1, it's Capitol Hill, immediately east of downtown Seattle and north of First Hill. This is where Seattle's current literary gravity feels strongest, led by Elliott Bay Book Company on 10th Avenue, with more than 150,000 titles and a legendary author reading series. Just nearby, Hugo House on 11th Avenue stands as a major writing center and Washington's first literary landmark, giving the neighborhood a direct connection to classes, readings, workshops, and the craft of writing itself. Capitol Hill also adds Ada's technical books and Twice Sold Tales, widening the range from literary fiction and poetry to technical reading, used books, and late browsing energy. With a walk score of 94, according to WalkScore in 2026, the neighborhood supports that simple writer's routine: read, walk, listen, revise, and then wander into another book-lined room. So the countdown lands with Phinney Ridge at number 5, Fremont at number 4, Wallingford at number 3, Pioneer Square at number 2, and Capitol Hill at number 1. Pioneer Square may hold some of Seattle's deepest literary history, but Capitol Hill brings together the bookstore, the writing center, the readings, and the day-to-day book culture in one concentrated area. And yes, that number 1 really does change the way the city's writing map looks now. What did we miss? Which greater Seattle neighborhood, bookstore, reading series, cafe, or tucked-away writing spot would have made your top 5? If you would have ranked one of these higher, or if your personal pick is somewhere outside the city in the surrounding suburbs, share it with us. If you enjoyed this Seattle neighborhood deep dive, give the video a like and subscribe for more local countdowns. And tell us what Seattle topic or neighborhood you want us to explore next.